Yes, sir. Now, today, we're going to be talking about an artist by the name of Jhené Aiko in a situation revolving around her brother. Now, first off, let's start off with some basics. Now, Jhené Aiko is mixed with a whole lot of things. She got a nice little mixture. I ain't even finna hold you, right? Her mother is of Spanish, Dominican, and Japanese descent, and her father is of Native American, African American, and German Jewish descent. It be a big melting pot. You hear me? Like sugar, spice, everything. Night like this bitch was made with like chemical X, like a piece of everything. You hear me? But notice that she did have that little hint of African American, and that's what they used to mark her, right? Because Jhené Aiko equal 42, just like the N word equal 42. Even Jhené, her first name, equals 42 as well. And peep her doing the two fingers, like the Baphomet, right? But more importantly, with this number 42, this might be why she was paired together with Big Sean, which also equals 42, right? But anyway, let's move on to more important matters. Jhené Aiko has learned firsthand how loss is a powerful force in artistic inspiration. With the tragic death of her dear brother, Miyagi Chilombo. You feel me? Hey, you like how that bit? Hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey, yeah, before I start these videos, depending on who I'm talking about, I got a little switch in my head. I just click it, and it allows me to say all the different accents. You feel me? But more importantly, right? Her brother, Miyagi, passed away due to brain cancer in 2012. Now, with that being said, he died due to brain cancer at the age of 26. When brain equals 26 and cancer equals 26. Now, if you don't understand what you're looking at, right? This is the practice of Gematria, simply turning the letters to their numerical value. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, so on and so forth. Right? It's different ciphers that's being utilized with this English language that we all know as a spell. And this English language is being utilized, right, for these rituals that's right in front of us. Once you learn Gematria, you can see right through the ritual. Now, Jhené's brother passed away on July 19th at the age of 26, when July 19th is also on 26 date numerology, along with the brain cancer that he had, right, which also equals 26. Now, even if we take Miyagi, her brother's name, if we take Miyagi, it also synchronizes with cancer, with brain and cancer once again, with the number 37, forwards and backwards. Right? Also with brain and cancer, right? Because her brother's death was on the 4th month and the 4th day of Jhené's age that year. Just like kill, brain, and cancer equals 45 in the English ordinal cipher, right? Simple gematria. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. And these are the things that you happen to get when you take these words that's associated with these situations. Everything is for a reason. But come on. Now, Jhené, at the time of her brother's death, she was 24 years and 4 months old, just like satanic equals 244. So we have the satanic, right, in the Latin cipher. But what's interesting is, if we take the span of her brother's life, we get a span of 312 months, just like satanic equals 312 in the satanic cipher. So they letting you know this was not an act of God right here. Right? Him passing away due to cancer, this was not God's plan. This was the God that they serving. This was that was the devil's plan. You see what I'm saying? And what's so crazy is death equals 213 and satanic as well, which is the reflection of 312 mirrors. So we getting that synchronous. This was a satanic death. This is what they telling you. This was a satanic death. Right? But most importantly with that death, right? With that death word. Because now this is an interesting thing, right? Because not all matters of gematria are fixed and orchestrated, right? Because now we can see that through the family and the people in our families have had death due to cancer as well. And it's very crazy that death and cancer are also synchronized with the number 118, right? My grandmother passed away due to cancer. I know a lot of people, family members have passed away due to cancer. So cancer in itself, right? We see even through the words, through the English spell that, these things are connected, and this is what cancer causes more often than not. But what's not organic is the fact that her brother also passed away 11 months and 18 days before his upcoming birthday the next year. Just like death and cancer equals 118. It's also not organic that Jhené Aiko dropped her first mixtape, Selling Souls. And that mixtape, her brother's death to cancer, was on the 1 year and 18th week of the release of Selling Souls by Jhené Aiko. That's what's not organic. This is planned. This is strategic. Right? And even just the title alone is telling you exactly what you need to know. And she's telling you she's selling her soul. She's using wordplay because she's by the water, by the shore, boats sail. But it's a double entendre. She's telling you she sold her soul. Look at the chains around her wrists. She's telling you she's nothing but a slave to the industry now. She's made her blood sacrifice. She's been sold out as a kid, actually. Her parents sold her out. Right? But come on. Once again, her brother's death was also on the first year and the 126th day of this mixtape release by Jhené Aiko. Just like Miyagi Chilombo. Oh, that bit was clean. That bit was clean. Hey, I got to give me some points for that. Y'all got to give me some points for that. Right? But it equals 126. Just like it happened on the 126th day. And the 1 year anniversary of this release of this mixtape, Selling Souls. And this is what she had to do. This is the door that she walked through to get into the industry. She made a blood sacrifice. And this happened right before. But come on. Right? Continuing to 126, right? Because even if we take Jhené Aiko's birthday, because keep in mind, she dropped this mixtape on her birthday, right? But we're gonna dive deep on that in a second. It's all gonna come right back in a circle, right? But even taking her birthday alone, right? Her brother passed away on the 126th day of her age that year. Just like, once again, her brother's full name equals 126 as well. Even breaking down her birthday numerology, the day that she was born, March 16th, 1988, equals 126. So it was already written in stone as soon as she was born. So you have to understand that these parents that these kids belong to, this stuff is spiritual. These people belong to witches, warlocks, Eastern Stars, and Freemasons that understand numerology, astrology, and etymology. They name their kids certain names. You see what I'm saying? They know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. But come on. Now, on this album, this mixtape, Selling Souls, that came out right before the death of her brother, the first song is called The Beginning, which lasted 9 seconds. When we know that the number 9 represents completion, but not finality. Think of it more in a cyclical sense. It's about the ending of one cycle and the potential it creates for another cycle to begin. So this represents the beginning and the end of one cycle. And that was with her brother. The cycle of her and her sibling. That ended, and it's a new beginning. But come on. She even had a song on the mixtape called July. When her brother was born in July, and he also passed away in July. In July. I know y'all remember that song. Yeah, that motherfucker was a hit. I ain't even gonna lie, that motherfucker was a hit. And you know what's crazy? This was her first song. This was her first mixtape. And she had Drake on the damn song. Her first mixtape as an artist. Think about it. Isn't this a spit in the face to you? I know it's a lot of independent artists that listen to me, like real independent artists that's getting out the mud, that listen to me, right? They watch my videos. Now think about your very first mixtape that you dropped. Think about having Drake. Would you be able to get Drake on your very first mixtape as an artist? But Jhené Aiko did. Right? And just to put it into perspective, right? 2012. Just put things into perspective, because I know, time go by real fast. We forget things, right? So just to bring it back, just to show you how relevant Drake was at the time in 2012, he had already came off of dropping his 2 number 1 albums. First of all, his debut album, Thank Me Later, and then his second album, Take Care, which debuted at number 1 in Canada and the United States in every genre. Right? So he was at the top of the game back then when he hopped on her song, when he hopped on her very first mixtape. That should have told you everything you needed to know right there. And he was already getting into the owl worship already in his second album. And what's funny, this was my very first album that I had ever purchased. This was 2010 June, so I was like 13. I asked my pops to take me to Walmart. I took some little change I saved. When your parents send you to the store and they don't ask for their change back. Oh yeah, I be saving that up. You hear me? And I went and bought this album. This was the very first album I bought, man. Thank Me Later, man. That motherfucker was hidden. I ain't even gonna lie to you. That motherfucker was hidden. Not even knowing whole time them folks was on that type of time. Right up under our noses this whole time. These folks have been demonic since the start. But come on. Right? Taking the day that Jhené Aiko's brother was born, July 7th, which left 177 days remaining. Now, if we take the day that he passed away, July 19th, that was the 201st day of the year. Just like the Jesuit order equals 177 and 201. Once again, this was a ritual for her to step into that light and for her to become a star. It's written all over it. Now, remember when I told you that Jhené, you probably wondering, what's that 88? Because she was born in the year 88. But if you're wondering, remember when I told you in the beginning, Jhené equal 42, just like the N-word equal 42. Well, Jhené also equals 24, the reflection of 42. Just like how she was 24 years old at the time that her brother passed away. Her brother also passed away 240 days before Jhené Jhené Aiko's next upcoming birthday, the next year. Remember, the Satanic Bible, everything revolves around their birthday. It's the highest holiday in a satanic religion. But come on. Right? Her next, her EP that came after her brother's death is now called Sell Out. So first she said she was selling souls. Now she says she finna sell out. Now she says she finna sell out. She keep playing around with these words. But it's all on purpose. They telling you without telling you. Now, this album came a year and 116 days after the death of her brother, just like Jhené Aiko Efaru Chilombo equals 116. You see what I'm saying? Everything they doing in this industry is strategic, man. Every single thing. They telling you these things for a reason. She been told you she sold her soul back in 2012, 2013. But come on. Even Sell Out equals 97 and 25, just like death. Just like how this EP Sell Out came after the death of her brother. Right? Speaking of death, her brother died on death numerology, right? The number 38. July 19th in the year 2012. We get 38 just like RIP, death, killing, and murder. Now, what's very interesting is Jhené Aiko, I keep saying Jhené Aiko, she had a song on there, the 6th song called 3:16 a.m. Now, we've seen this in the past with a lot of other artists referencing 3 a.m. Right? We've seen 21 Savage with his joint project with Drake, 3 a.m. on Glenwood, King Von 3 a.m., Youngboy 3 a.m., NF 3 a.m., XXXTentacion 3 a.m., Eminem 3 a.m., and even Russ, you know, the guy that claims he's so independent, 3 a.m. as well, right? Now, what this is referring to is the devil's hour, right? Being 3 a.m. Now, it's considered significant as it's the opposite hour to the death of Christ. You know, whatever name you wanna use. You know, we ain't got to get real deep into the real name, but we just gonna read this passage, right? The Bible reads that Jesus Christ was placed on the cross at 9 a.m. And how did they even know that? Because time wasn't even a thing. You know, back then in the BC, in the AD, time was figurative. Time didn't exist. So, you know, this is like a Masonic concept, you know, that he was placed on the cross at 9 a.m. and then devil's hours 3. Like, this is satanic. This is Satanism, like Freemasonic principles that they're giving you, you know, with this whole little thing. Because who knew that back then, that it was 9 a.m.? A nigga had a watch on. That nigga had a Richard Mille on. Back then, at the time, it was like, shit, yeah, it's about that time to put him on the cross. Like, come on, man, make this shit make sense, bro. Really think about what they're telling you, right? But this is why, right? It is seen, right, because of what they told you, the information that they have given you, right? And this is why they mock it, right, with 3 a.m. Much like when a cross is turned upside down, you know, to mockery. But come on. Now, she even says in her words, after selling souls, people gave their critique, and I always felt like a lyricist more than a singer. She about to explain, you know, the 316 thing. So she says, I really want to show it off, and whatever I'm thinking about, I'm going to write it down. I was in the studio, and I just started saying what I was, and the track ended at 316. See, these are the spirits that's working through her, right? And she said, I didn't really have a clear concept of what I was going to write about, so I just kept writing. I did the first verse, and they added it, and they added to it, and it was 3 weeks before I recorded or wrote any more. Right? And she said 316 is a song that lasts for a duration of 3 minutes and 16 seconds. That literally speaks about addiction, not just drugs, addiction to anything. that you go to when you're in your darkest place. And I think everyone can relate to that. We've all been to hell and back, and that's pretty much what 316 is all about. Going to hell and back. Remember, the 3 a.m. is the devil's hours. So she's not lying. She just double speaking to you, right? So that number 316, but she really didn't tell you how deep. This is like the bullshit explanation, they give to the press, to the regular people, because nobody really dives really deep and really tries to find out what that 316, what that really means. Like the devil's hour, even the devil's hour is a surface level explanation because it goes much deeper. So let's dive deeper on the number 316. Now, what Jhené Aiko didn't tell you about 316 is that the song 316 that was on her EP Sellout was actually released on the 316th day of the year. That's what she didn't tell you. What she didn't tell you, that this is all rooted by her brother. This is all surrounded around the death, the sacrifice of her brother. Because her brother, Miyagi, the name Miyagi, his first name, equals 316 as well, and Fibonacci. That's what she didn't tell you. These artists, they always going to give you the surface level explanation, and they want you to take it as that. Why would it just be, it would just happen to be just 316, not just 3 a.m. like the rest of these people? They just going to give you an exact time and you just supposed to just accept that. No, it's always a deeper meaning. Come on. In the music video Jhené Aiko made called Eternal Sunshine, which is dedicated to her brother, was so crazy. You can pause the video at 316 and for a quick second, they show his face. They show her brother's face at 3 minutes and 16 seconds. I'm going to show you in real time. Watch this. Watch how quick this happens. Look at the time. This is in normal time. It's not sped up. 316. Look, there he go. This is witchcraft. This is you have to be intertwined with spirits to know how to do this stuff. You have to be a witch or a warlock to even know to do these things. So you have to know that the industry that these people are involved in is very wicked, and these people know exactly what they're doing. See that 316 that she told you? That was a bullshit explanation. She didn't really go deep, and she really didn't dive into how deep that 316 goes. I don't even know why. This could have been a more simple explanation, right? Because she could have simply told you about her birthday, because even her birthday is on 3/16. She didn't even mention that. And that's a quick Google search. You could have got them niggas off your back real quick by just telling you, oh yeah, it was just about my birthday. That's it. But she didn't even say nothing about her birthday. She didn't say nothing about her birthday. But yes, even her birthday is on 3/16. That's why she dropped her very first mixtape before her brother died. She dropped her very first mixtape on the same day, on her birthday, 3/16. This is all about the sacrifice of her brother. But come on. She even got another on her studio album, Chilombo, which is about her whole family, on the track Magic Hour. On the track Magic Hour, that also lasts 3 minutes and 16 seconds. Come on, man. Come on. It ain't that many coincidences in the world, man. Come on, man. Really use your head, man. These folks ain't playing. They giving you the whole playbook. This stuff not hard. Bro, I didn't go to college. I didn't graduate from high school until I was 19. I was a knucklehead. I was supposed to graduate when I was 17, but I was doing bullshit, so I didn't graduate until I was 19. I kept getting kicked out of school. If I can learn this shit, if I can understand this shit, come on, man. Come on. Right? Because even if we take the span that this album came out, Chilombo, this came out 7 years and 7 months after the death of her brother, just like Chilombo equals 77. Man, come on, man. These folks is tied in. These folks is tapped in. These folks is tapped in. and they know exactly what they doing. And they giving you little breadcrumbs here and there to see if you get it. And the album was even released on 3/6, right? The 66th day of the year. 36, 666 is the 36 triangular number. So these folks know exactly what they doing when they drop these albums, when they drop these projects. Everything is spiritual. It's spiritual. These people are tied with demons. It's demons that's guiding them to do the things that they're doing. It's entities. It's not just men. It's not just human beings that's configuring these things. They're doing these things with the help of entities in the spiritual realm. Everything is in numbers. Everything they're doing is in a numerical sequence. And it's never going to stop. But with that being said, I conclude, man, that she took out her brother for money and fame for her career. Y'all let me know how y'all perceive this situation. Y'all let me know what y'all thinking. Whatever y'all found, y'all can add it to the conversation. And with that being said, man, appreciate y'all for all the love. Appreciate y'all for all the support. And I'm out.